BYU football spring ball is a wrap, and here now with quarterback Jake Retzlaff. And Jake, this spring, what do you feel the offense accomplished this spring in these 14 or 15 practice, whatever it was?
Yeah, I think it was cool to see this team become this team. A big deal is like every year is a new year. Every team is a new team. The coolest part is that team last year got to end it with an Alamo Bowl game victory, and to be able to win the last game of the season is obviously a big deal, especially at a stage like that. And so, but unfortunately, as it is like that's the last time that team will be together. You know what I mean? And so now this is a new team, and to be able to discover this new team, this new offense with the new pieces we got has been super fun. And to watch these young guys who have developed for a while to step into bigger roles has been, kind of really rewarding to watch them step up into new places and watch these guys take over. It's been super fun. New leaders are rising, and it's been a blast.
Can you, along with yourself, who are some of those leaders that are emerging?
Yeah, a guy like who led all last year, like Waylon Lupuaho, like even though he was not playing the spring ball, like he was leading. Like he was more involved in practice than a lot of the guys who did dress. And like he was dialed into every play and always just getting on guys and supporting them and helping them out with technique and all this stuff and coaching them up. And it was cool to see a guy like that continue to rise, and guys like Bruce Mitchell and Austin Lewis and that O-line room really take over that room and be like, all right, we're going to be great. And this offensive line, that's a unit. They're as much as a unit as I've seen since I've been here at BYU. And then also watch these other leaders that you know about, like Chase Roberts, and see Keelan. He's got more of a leadership role than he ever has. Just guys step up and make plays. Like JoJo Phillips had an incredible spring. He was stepping up making plays like I'd never seen him make before. So you can just watch his progression. Has been super fun. Defense side of the ball, obviously guys like Keanu Tanavasa, immediate leader when he stepped on this campus. Like when he had that first step in that locker room, people knew he was a leader, and he didn't. Everybody just had a ton of respect for him right away. It wasn't just about the player he is, but the man he is. It's been super fun to see him grow as a leader in that respect. And same with some of these young guys, like Keelan's obviously, but Trey, like becoming more of a leader. Trey Alexander has done a good job of that. He brings the intensity, he brings the energy to practice every day with that defense. It's cool to see all that stuff, and just the new pieces. It's fun to watch those guys develop into the players they are.
It felt like it was competitive in spring too, just watching some of the observation periods that we got to see. You bring up Trey. I remember last week, I think you guys are going back and forth a little bit, John. I mean, just how competitive was spring?
Super competitive. I think that it was fun to watch the offense succeed in a lot of places, and I think the offense was more banged up than the defense was, and so especially later on, they got the best of us in a couple practices later on, and I was like, yeah, you guys can win those practices when we don't have any of our starters in. Good for you. So, but Trey doesn't care. He'll still talk all that crap and be super confident, and that's why we love Trey, because he's super confident. He's going to go on the field, and you're going to get the most out of him when you're on the field with him. You're going to believe in that guy to give everything for this program, and so that's why getting on the field with Trey is super exciting for anybody, offense or defense. But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, remember one scrimmage, we went out there offense and had a day. Offense scored a touchdown almost on every possession, which was interesting because defense made the first play of the day. The first drive was for the defense, but the later in the day, offense just completely took over. So the next week in practice, defense showed up and played their tails off, and it was super fun to get that back and forth going. As an offense, I hold our offense to a higher standard than that. I tell these guys, like, we are not a back and forth team, but with this defense is really good. And we know this is going to be one of the best defenses we play all year, so I take these reps really valuable. Like I try not to take any of these for granted, because seeing every single thing they show us is a piece of what we're going to see all year. And it's something that the veterans realize now. It's like, man, it was fun to play against you guys, but I'm excited to hit somebody else. And that hits a lot of the younger guys in fall camp, but a lot of those older guys are like, yeah, I'm excited for when we take the field that first game, October 30th.
What were some of the final, I don't know if you could say numbers, stats that you had in spring? Did coaches give you that? And I bring that up because last year, I remember you went the entire spring without any sort of interception. That was a big thing in really kind of giving you the chance to become the QB1 last year. What were some of the numbers that Coach A-Rod and the staff said that were the final numbers in spring for you?
Yeah, we talked about completion percentage a lot. We talked about, it was more during spring ball, what to work on and how to find these more. It wasn't necessarily an end result, and maybe we'll talk about something like that going into this fall. But I did throw an interception this spring, but I only threw it to Jack Kelly. He's the only guy who got one. So I'm going to have to live with that one, because that's a heck of a ball player. If he's going to get me, if anybody's going to get me, he's going to get me. I'm not going to lie to you. He's going to be a great player and go play a long career someday. But But it was fun, and it's definitely disappointing to throw that first one at Jack because, like, dang it, I didn't do it. I did it last year, I didn't do it this year. But
You talked about the leaders on this offense along with yourself. You got so much talent around you. It feels like with L.J. Martin, who, if he's become a star at the running back in that Alamo Bowl. He was fantastic. Offensive line, it's retooled, but it feels like there's a lot of depth there at O-line, and then wide receiver and tight end with Carson Ryan. Do you just feel like this is an offense that, like, what's the expectation here that you feel this could be? I mean, could this be one of the best offenses in college football, you think?
no doubt in my mind that should be the case. It's a matter of how high we are on that ranking, not if we're on that top ranking. And to be honest with you, like, we have all the pieces we need. We're better at every position than we were last year. I just think that to be able to watch, like, these coaches go into their second, like Coach Woods coming to his second year on the team, like, his standard's set. His young guys are developing. Watching those guys come out there, and it's guys who came in at the same time as me, but they were like freshmen off of a mission or freshmen straight out of high school. Like, now they're, guys in their second and third year, and now they're becoming, redshirt juniors coming up or redshirt sophomores, and they're like just eager to get after it, and they're getting after it. And it's cool to watch that happen. And it's like, I'm just excited to see what those guys do. Those new guys over the next couple of years, maybe they don't see a lot of time this year, but they definitely provide depth for us this year. And even that O-line, the way they're coming in, it's just fun to see the new attitude of these guys. And not that it's new, but it's just amplified more. And Coach Woods bringing those guys along with Coach Gilbride in his second year here, has been awesome to see him. And then obviously, him bringing a guy like Carson Ryan makes his job easier because he's just such a great player. And his feel for the game is great. He picked up this offense really quick. Tight end is a tough position in this offense. They got to know him. They know the next most behind quarterback on what's going on this team. So it's cool to see how fast he picked it up, and the year he's going to have is going to be special.
You noted at the beginning of the spring that you wanted to maybe add a little bit of weight to your frame, or like you're playing at 205 listed at. Where do you want to be playing at this fall?
Yeah, I see myself playing above 210 this next coming year. 212 is around where I see myself at. You know what I mean? This offseason is a time to lean out, put on the muscle, feel strong, feel stable in every area that's been even the slightest bit banged up. Make sure it's fully stable, fully ready to go again, and feel more confident and more secure in my body than I did even a year before. You know what I mean? Going into this season, I want to feel even better. So when I do break down a little bit during the season, like everybody does, to be able to still feel like I'm better than I was last year. And so I'm excited for that opportunity. Working with Dan the man, Dan the nutritionist, he's unbelievable. He's gotten me, I'm at around 11% body fat right now at 205, 206. And so I want to be at 10.5-ish, sub 10.5 at 208. By the end of the summer, getting to that weight come camp is going to be nice, because camp at quarterback is a lot different than other positions. I'll actually gain weight throughout camp because I'll seek out to do so. I'll be eating a lot of every meal and making sure I'm getting everything in. And so I add on those, 3, 4, 5 pounds afterwards, and that's where I see myself at 212.
You kind of transformed physically since you've been here at BYU, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just think back to that West Virginia game, your first career start. You see photos in that press conference room and where you are now. You're a different looking guy now.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. I mean, I just give credit to guys like, Coach Phyllis, strength conditioning, Dr. Skylar Main, those guys. I work with Sky mostly, but it's all under Phyllis's direction and Sky's direction, and Coach Colby and all that stuff and everything. I mean, those guys have been unbelievable. That, the holistic look at everything. It's not about just what you do in the weight room. It's about what you do in your sleep.